Sidekick here with a video about, well, I guess it's a video about how to navigate in DCS. It's actually probably going to be part of a series of videos about map reading and navigation. It's going to be particularly about using the map to navigate in DCS when you're close to the ground. You don't have a lot of navigation aids or even a lot of visibility. Now, it's going to use a new mission that I've made to help you develop these skills. Essentially what this mission does is it just uses points on the ground and makes them targets on a test range using the target impact tracking script for support. So when you drop your bombs near these targets, it'll measure your accuracy. But the mission does not provide any visible cues to where the targets are unless you want it to. I'll explain a bit more about that in another video. For now, I made this video about how to do low-level navigation, particularly in the F4, for the classic F4 Deep Strike or Battlefield Interdiction mission. Basically, that means you have to learn how to find your way to a distant target at low level and high speed. You've got an inertial navigation system that's helpful, but it's not accurate enough for you to get bombs on target with. Anyways, let's just jump into it and I'll show you what we're doing. We took off from Mozdok. Now, this is our target here, this road on the far side of the town of what we call Chiclets. It is not and will not be marked in any way, though. And we will get scored by the target impact tracking script on how close we come to hitting it with a, fairly large string of high drag bombs. So, what we need to do is figure out a way to find the target, but we also need to be able to identify it as we approach so that we can set up our bomb run. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to use landmarks. Now, this is actually, I picked this target because it's pretty easy to find using landmarks, but the approach is the same as you would use any other time. The landmarks that we need to find need to be recognizable, and they need to point us at the target. So the first obvious one is the road. If we fly down that road towards the town, we know we're going to end up at the target, and we know approximately when. So that's a good sort of terminal guidance cue. But how do we find that road? Because we're basically going to fly down this river from Mozdok, because that's another easily recognizable landmark. We'll just keep it off our right-hand side. We'll know we're flying towards the target area. We'll also be able to spot this break in these two hills. If you actually take a look at the contours on the map, and learning how to read contours is a very important part of learning how to read a map, you can see that there's going to obviously be a very obvious valley between the two sides of the ridge. So that'll be something we can see from a long ways away, and we can point to that. As soon as we go through that valley, we're going to see that there's going to be a stream coming into the river from the right. That's going to be a fairly obvious point. So we can use that as a turning point. Now, the question is, how do we find our way from that turning point to the road? And what occurs to me is that there is this lake here, which again is something that's reasonably easy to see. Even at low level from a distance, you'll be able to see a break in the trees where the lake is. So if I can find my way to the lake actually kind of points towards the road. So if I fly down the length of the lake and come out the other side, I know I'm going to be pointed in a direction that will allow me to intercept the road. And then that road is going to lead me to the target. So the plan is follow the river through the gap in the hills, turn at the stream, find the lake, find the road, and follow the road to the target. So let me show you how you can actually use the inertial nav system and jester to help you on your way. After you spawn into the cockpit and having picked your target, we decided we're going to attack this target. So we pick the target, we look at the F10 map. I can place mark points on the F10 map. So I'm going to place one at the turning point, which is where the stream comes into the river. I'm going to put another one on the lake. I'm going to call that my initial point. And then I'll be done in the F10 map. And then if I go back out to the cockpit, I can have Jester add those points to the flight plan by basically selecting a point and asking him to add a point afterwards and to use one of the listed mark points. And so by the time I'm done that, I've added a couple of targets, and Jester will help us navigate from where we are to the first waypoint, which puts us on the river, and from there to the turning point in the IP. Now, bearing in mind that Jester and the INS will help us follow this rough flight path, but it's not going to be accurate enough to provide terminal guidance to the target. So I haven't even bothered adding the target as an actual waypoint. I'm going to have to find that visually. Okay, so as you can see, we're well along our flight plan. You can see the gap in the hills up there, and we know that's what we're headed for, and we know the stream's just on the other side of it. Now we're starting to descend. We're down to 300 feet, and we are traveling at 480 knots, which is about 8 nautical miles a minute. If you were looking at the F10 map, you'd see that the point from our turning point to the lake is around 6 nautical miles, so we expect to cover it in about 45 seconds. Gives you an idea of how much time we're going to have. From there to the target is going to be about another 45 seconds or so. So things are going to happen pretty quickly when they're happened, so we need to be ready. Okay, just confirming we're within 5 nautical miles of our turning point, which makes sense because we're almost at the gap in the hills. There is the river to our right. We just need to look for that stream, and when we see it, we are going to hang a right. And Jester's giving us an update. There it is. Let's head inland. Okay, we made the turn. We got the ridge off to our right. INS says we still got to come a little bit farther around, but I'm okay. The flight director's just telling me to stay in this kind of bank. Yeah, get it a little bit farther to the right. Should be seeing that lake coming up in about another 15 or 20 seconds. We know it's in the middle of the woods. We're flying over the woods. As soon as we see the lake, we want to make sure we're headed down the length of the lake, and that's going to take us to the road. Just come a little bit farther to the right, a little bit farther to the right. There it is. And we're flying down the lake. And now all we need to do is look for the road. Look for the road, look for the road. There's the road. Road going up over the hill. All we need to do is follow the road, stay low, follow the road. Follow the road as it goes through the trees. Right, stay low, follow the road. As soon as it comes out of this set of trees, you should see it going up over a hill and down in towards town. There it is. There's the road coming out of the trees. There's the hill. It's going up over the hill. Time to go to air-to-ground mode. We're approaching the target. Target's just on the other side of that tree line. Just as the road goes into the town is going to be where we want to pickle. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. And pickle. Well, that's a nice long drum roll of dropping snake eyes. Now it's time to get out of here. Bank to the right, pull hard, let's go down 5th Avenue. And wait and see what the target impact tracking script has to say. Well, those look like pretty good results to me. We got a group within 30 meters of the target, so the center of our group was pretty good. Got a couple of outliers. I have an idea what those might be from. I think that might be some bombs that kind of fell down the slope a little ways from the target. Either way, I think that was an effective drop, especially since we never got above about 400 feet. Except now, we're going up, I'm going home. Hope you enjoyed that video. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more. Drop by my Discord channel if you want to talk about it. For now, this is going to be Simon. Signing off.